hope you all are having a beautiful morning out there. I am definitely having a beautiful morning. If you know, look behind me, there's a beautiful view right there. That's the Adriatic Sea because, like I did tell you guys, I'm going on holiday, you know. I decided to take a 2 weeks, holiday to enable me spend time with my family. This is not me trying to, show you a life that you can get when you decide to be a reseller. It's not about me flexing to you because if you go onto YouTube, man, you're going to be surprised at the level, the extent people can go just to sell you something, to sell you a life that's possible if you decide to, start maybe an e-commerce business, to start reselling, to start drop shipping. There are so many videos out there, trying to show you how, take a look at me. I am having a beautiful time. I am just chilling here. I don't have to work anymore. I have cracked the code of life. No, this video is not about all that. This video is just about me, talking to you as a friend who talk to, somebody else. So I'm here on holiday because if you pretty much have kids in Germany, you can understand that August is, in fact, the whole of August. The holidays started on Thursday precisely. So on Thursday, the kids were home from school. Then on Friday, there was, everything was pretty much closed down. And something that we tend to do every year is to take a 2, sometimes 3 weeks holiday, to enable, myself, my wife, the kids really spend time together because, come think of it, it's been a stressful school, season, all right? Kids were every day at school doing their job. Dad was out there putting in the grind. Mom was out there working. So we pretty much come home in the evening very tired. Sometimes we have little or no time to even, spend quality time with ourselves. And on this holiday, this is one of the things that we tend to do, take breakfast together, wake up without having to, depend on the alarm, wake up whenever you feel like waking up. And when the sun is up there in the sky, take a beautiful walk. Never be in a hurry because this is a life that we are pretty much signed to. You're always in a hurry to wake up in the morning, in a hurry to go to work, in a hurry to go to your warehouse, in a hurry to take the products that you have sold to the post office. The kids are in a hurry to make their, schoolwork, their homework. And man, it's just a hurry grind, never ending story life. And the holiday is pretty much the time where we can all sit down, relax, get to enjoy the benefits of having a family. And this is exactly what I'm doing here. This is not a life that I will tell you it will be possible if you have you are signed up to my course and you learn how to drop ship. This is a life that's going to be possible. Of course, if you work hard, you can pretty much give yourself, a little holiday like this. Doesn't necessarily have to be a very expensive one. We have a little, holiday apartment for 2 weeks, rented. And in this apartment, we pretty much have everything that we need, very good, like a sitting room, 2 bedrooms, a little kitchen, very beautiful bathroom, a balcony that has this very beautiful, mind-blowing view of the Adriatic Sea out there. If you've not been to Croatia, this is something I can highly recommend to you. And yes, we're going to be staying here for the next 2 weeks. Like I did promise you guys, I'm still going to be making my, morning coffee session with you guys because this is something I have now become so used to. I wake up in the morning sometimes 5 o'clock. And the first thing I want to do is to, sit down without being in a hurry, grab a cup of coffee. But if it were in the time where I am, actively in the warehouse, when I get to the warehouse, it doesn't matter when, sometimes 8 o'clock, sometimes 9 o'clock, sometimes even 6 o'clock. This happened just last week. Grab a cup of coffee and I want to sit down, peacefully reflect on how the day is going to look like. All right. Take a look at the items that need to be attacked first, how I need to get about setting up a particular PC. And if anything was left from the previous day, sometimes I get to, do them, lightly reply emails. I do not list items in the mornings. I mean, sometimes on exceptional cases I do, but typically I want to take my coffee, shoot a YouTube video if I have something, interesting or something, educative, or if I just want to share something with you guys, come to think of it, every video does not necessarily have to be value packed. There's this thing, you don't have to give value, you have to give value. Guys, I'm just telling you, this is exactly how I live my life. All right. You might have a different way of doing things, but this is pretty much what I do in the morning. So I woke up this morning, enjoying the nice breeze, the nice view from this balcony right here. The sun is just about, coming out right now, and everything is, guys, simply beautiful. But then I felt like something I need to remind you of. If you are a professional seller, perhaps you already know this, but I kind of imagine that there might be some rookie seller out there that would just, proceed on holiday. You have an eBay account in very good standing, you have good reviews, you are top rated, things are just moving in a very good direction for you. But because there are certain things that experience will just teach you. Not everybody pretty much knows that there is an eBay function that enables you put your shop on holiday mode. And sometimes rookie sellers might just proceed on holiday, because sometimes it's kind of a lot going on before you finally hit the road to start to travel, on holiday. By the way, this trip was about 12 hours drive. So I'm still very tired from yesterday's trip. A lot of people were traveling, and the Autobahn, which is the highway here in Germany, was pretty much packed. We had to go through so many, diversions. I was cooked, man, guys. I was cooked, to say the least. But that was just by the wayside. I slept now. I'm getting my, energy back again. And yes, you proceed on holiday. There are so many things that goes on behind the scene. You want to book your appointment, your apartment. You want to book your flight, choosing the locations, trying to see how you can, pack some stuff. What's it going to look like? Yes, sometimes you might forget to put your shop on holiday mode. And if this happens, your shop is not switched down, because something that typically happens is that when you hit the road, sometimes, depending on where you are traveling to, for me, I experienced a situation where we had to go through, different diversions. And because of that, we were always off the internet. There was just no connection. And because I was driving, pretty much drove for 12 hours straight, with some little breaks in between just to go to the restroom and all that. But I was kind of focused on the driving. First of all, I had no contact with my phone. Internet was pretty much gone all the time. And even when, briefly the internet is on, sometimes these apps like the eBay apps might not, immediately update. And if you check your email, pretty much this, if you use Yahoo Mail, it doesn't update immediately. It takes time to load until it loads all your messages and your updates. You might have a situation where people buy your stuff, you are not aware, and your items just keep selling because you, for one reason or the other, you forgot to put your shop on holiday mode. You see, and when you are somebody that says, a certain kind of says in a certain kind of category where sales tends to be, a lot, because I sell computers, typically we tend to have like, 3, 4, 5 sales a day, not like 50 sales, 70 sales. If you sell in a category like, clothing, books and stuff like that, where you typically tend to have a lot of sales, you might be faced with a situation where you are on holiday, you have forgotten to update the holiday setting on your shop. People have gone ahead to buy your stuff, and now you have to begin to tell the buyers that, look, I'm not around to send out your items. Unfortunately, I'm going to be away for 2 weeks. I have to cancel the transactions. And if you get to cancel transactions like that, it's going to be bad for your shop. I want to remind you guys, if you are proceeding on holiday, the first thing you want to do, go ahead, put your shop on holiday mode. If you may decide to leave your shop for people to, still buy stuff up to 15 days, but you might want to say to yourself, look, I don't want to just have, a clear head when I go on holiday. I want to put my shop on total shutdown. It's going to be on holiday. Nobody will be able to order stuff until I come back. But the thing is, please do not forget this setting. All right. I actually, did exactly what I'm telling you now. I put my shop on holiday mode, but I still created the possibility for people to order stuff up to 15 days. In case you are wondering, you don't need to do this manually. eBay has pretty much, done everything for you. All you have to do is just select what you want. You are going on holiday, select date. When are you returning? Select the date, and then select if you want people to be able to order stuff up to 15 days and then save the setting. Automatically eBay does the other things behind the scene, which is putting a banner on your shop so that if anybody wants to buy something, the person sees it that this seller is on holiday. You have to, be okay with your items being delivered, way too late. All right. But then beautiful news is that somebody already went to my shop, bought a HP Elite Desk PC. Of course, I wrote this person that, look, I'm on holiday. I could go ahead and send you a refund if you don't want it, but if it's fine for you, immediately I get back, in 2 weeks, I'll be able to send out your item. I've not gotten a reply from the buyer. I am hoping that the buyer is cool with that. So this is exactly the strategy I wanted to use this time around. Of course, the traffic, I was taking a look. The traffic has pretty much reduced because as soon as you activate the holiday mode, the eBay AI also sees that, look, this shop is on holiday. You're going to be giving, less visibility in the eBay search. This is just what it is. But I didn't want a situation where my shop will be totally closed because of a previous experience I had. But then I want to remind you guys, as part of my, early morning coffee chill out, if you want to go on holiday, please, your eBay shop is the thing that you have worked hard, to build. Do not just leave it behind, treat it as your project. I'm not saying you should treat it like your life. Yeah, some people might want to tell you that depending on how serious you are taking this thing, if it's something that you are committed to building, you want to build a responsible business, a business that's going to stand the test of time, and you consider the stress, the work that you have put in, you don't just want to lose it like that, please take your eBay shop seriously. Treat it the way you would treat a regular brick and mortar shop. Because if you have a brick and mortar shop, you are going on holiday, it's just normal for you to put a note that, okay, we are going for our yearly holiday. Between this day and this day, we're not going to be around. You're not just going to lock your shop and let people keep wondering if this business is closed down or if something happened. Are they thinking of leaving? Are they still in operation? You necessarily have to put this kind of note, to tell your esteemed customers, buyers that, look, you are going to be back. You are not gone forever. You are going to be back. And when you come back, one thing you want to do is to go ahead, run a sale. You can also capitalize on the fact that you went on holiday and say, look, we are back. We are giving you guys 10% discount on all our stuff. Of course, if the items you sell or the price for your items, we allow you do this. So don't just proceed on holiday like some people would do. The experienced seller, like I said, must have had these situations. I have had this situation. This is exactly why I'm talking about it. Many years ago, I did go on holiday and I forgot to put my shop on eBay on holiday mode. Typically, what happens when you are going for holiday in a new location. You arrive, you have to unpack your car, you have to, settle down, get to discover the new apartment, get to make sure that things are working, sign on the necessary papers and all that. When you finally, finish setting up all these things, sometimes you are so tired that you just want to take your dinner and go to bed and sleep off. The eBay might be the last thing you might be thinking about. When you wake up the next day, you might be surprised that people have gone to order stuff on your shop and it can just be a total mess when you have to cancel these transactions. It has happened to me. So I'm not talking from what I imagine or what I feel. I'm just sharing my experience with you because one of my, the values I bring you on this channel is that I am going to be sharing with you, live experiences that affects you as an eBay seller. Things that I have personally, experienced, good experiences, bad experiences, all to give you this information because they just can go a long way to shaping who you become as an eBay seller, helping you, building your business, and also giving you a very realistic, expectation of what you get if you decide to sell on the biggest platform on earth, which is eBay, in my opinion. All right, guys, if this video helps you, go ahead and click on the like button. Tomorrow I'm going to be here again, doing some kind of light talk like this. It's not going to be anything serious. I'm not going to be here complaining about somebody returning my items or eBay not working. It's just going to be, beautiful experience like this. When I go out and I see something nice, I'm going to be making photos and possibly posting on the community section of my page. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, do yourself a lot of good. Go ahead and be subscribed. Until I see you again in the next one, peace.